Gugu on the line. Gugu, thank you so much for making time out to call in and be a part of the James Fortune Show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Now, Gugu, I'm a music guy, so I got to ask you this question first. I see that you started, you played the saxophone growing up.
I certainly did. You've done your research.
I did a little bit. I'm a music guy, so when I saw that, I was like, wow, that was very, very great to know. So, do you still play at all?
Yeah, I have my alto sax that I grew up playing is actually at my mum's house, and I've spent so much time in the U.S. I don't have it with me here, so I haven't played for an embarrassingly long time.
Okay.
But I did play the alto growing up, and I also played the baritone in my big band at my hometown.
Oh, wow.
Really cool.
That is really cool. That's great information to know. Now, obviously, Gugu, you weren't born in America.
No.
Where were you born, and what does your name mean?
I was born in Oxford in the UK, and actually we shot some of the scenes from Belle in my hometown of Oxford, which was really, really special. My mum's English and my dad's from South Africa, so my name is actually short for Guguletu, which means our pride in Zulu. So I'm part Zulu.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, I gotta, we gotta talk about this movie Belle because everybody's been talking about it, tweeting about it, Facebook, social media. Excited about it. Tell us a little bit about this movie, Belle, that you're starring in.
Yes. Well, it's a really inspiring story, and it's based on a true story as well, inspired by a real painting. Belle is the central character, and I play her, Dido Elizabeth Belle, and it's about the first biracial aristocrat who grew up in Kenwood House in the 1780s, and her mother was a slave, but her father was part of the aristocracy. So when her mother passed away, she was brought up by her great uncle, who was a Lord Chief Justice of England. So she was a very privileged young lady, but we deal with the fact that she wasn't really treated equally, and she had a very ambiguous position in the household as people were trying to work out how to respond to her because of her origins and also because she was also an heiress. So it deals with her sort of navigating this world and also learning to be comfortable in her own skin.
I love it. And what drew you to this role of Dido in the movie Belle?
Oh, well, so many things. I mean, it's such, first and foremost, it's a very sweeping, very romantic love story at its core.
Yeah.
Dido goes on this journey, and she has her romantic awakening, as well as her political awakening, and really evolves as a person, which was a great journey to go on. And for me, on a personal level, it was really special to be able to depict, a woman of color in a period context, not playing a slave, not playing a subservient, brutalized role, but playing an articulate, educated young lady of status. And for me, that was just refreshing because I'd not seen that done on film before. So I felt like it really shed a light on a period of history and a viewpoint of the slave trade, which really has been overlooked.
Wow, and it's really, it's touching so many people. And I want to know, Gugu, were you able to draw, like from any personal experiences being British of mixed race and raised by your mother who is Caucasian?
Absolutely. I mean, this whole film is Dido, I definitely approached her as a human being and as a young girl, and there's so much I can relate to. The idea of being true to yourself and following your instincts, which is definitely something that I aspire to do in my own life. And I think, as an actress and as a woman, I think, we're all working out where we fit in society, and, who decides who you really are? Is it society or yourself? And I think for me, I really responded to the idea that we are the ones, who can decide, how we perceive ourselves, and it starts with you, and it starts on the inside. So for me, that was really, a theme that I really responded to in the material.
Wow, awesome. I started smiling when you talked about instincts, because we've actually been talking about that on the show. Bishop T.D. Jakes has a book entitled Instinct.
Yes,
and so,
I'm reading it, actually.
Oh, you're reading it right now?
I met him the other day. I went to a book signing. It's really funny because I was doing a Q&A about Belle, and talking about instinct versus conditioning, social conditioning. And a friend of mine came up to me after the the Q&A and said, you know what, you should come along to, because you were talking about instincts, and you should come along to this book signing too.
Yeah.
So I think
Wow.
it's all combined and all linked together. But yeah, definitely, I aspire to follow my instincts, and I think that that's something that the characters in the movie learn to do.
Yeah.
But it's a process to get there, and I think we wouldn't be human beings if we found it
Yeah.
easy all the time. So that's really
Absolutely.
what my character is going through.
It's amazing, even just hearing you speak. So much wisdom and knowledge. Do you ever see yourself maybe writing a book or sharing some of that knowledge
Maybe
with
one
us?
day. I do love to write,
Yeah.
and I haven't really. I write more for myself. I haven't really written anything at this stage that is really to share. It's not polished enough to share, but certainly, I'm having such, with this film and talking to people, and it is a voyage of discovery.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I'll
One
have
day.
acquired enough wisdom to pass some of it on.
We will stay tuned. Now, why should people go see Belle?
Oh, well, you know what? It's a very uplifting story, and it's really inspiring. And, it's romantic and sweeping and historical, but it also has, the grounded weight of being, exploring the slave trade from a new perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also very female-centric. It's refreshing, made by a female director and a female writer,
okay.
and it's a refreshing viewpoint on history. And I think, it's an emotional journey, but
Yeah.
I think at the end of it, hopefully, you'll feel uplifted.
Wow, awesome. Now, of course, I saw on E! and Oprah, she saw the movie, tweeted about the movie, and then invited the whole cast to her house. What was that like at Oprah's house?
Oh, my goodness. It's been incredible. Oprah has been so supportive of
Yeah.
the film, and it's really just been so inspiring to have her support and have her invite us into her home just to I think that she really resonated with the themes of the film as well, and wanted to share it with everyone. And so, there's no better cheerleader to have.
Absolutely.
And it was an honor to meet with her and to see that she really responded and enjoyed the film also.
Wow. Well, I want to ask you one question, Google. Fill in this blank for me. I was surprised to see blank at Oprah's house.
Oh my God!
Just something.
I was
Just give us
surprised
just
to see
something.
Blank at Oprah's house. I guess I wasn't that surprised, but we filmed it, so I was surprised to see the film crew because when
Yeah.
I first got there, the cameras were rolling, and obviously I spend my time in front of the cameras,
Yeah.
but usually in the guise of a character. So for me, it's a little bit more of a challenge to be myself.
Exactly.
to be myself in front of the
Yeah,
camera.
and it was awesome because so many of us were able to find out about the movie, through that opportunity. So, like I said, we're really grateful for Oprah for just exposing us to this great movie. Now, before we go, if people want to keep up with Google, want to follow you, are you on Twitter, Instagram, anything like that? Any blogs, all this knowledge?
I'm behind the times when it comes to social networking. But you know what? Amara Sante, our director, is on Twitter, and you can catch Belle at Belle Movie on Instagram as well. So there's plenty to follow surrounding the movie.
Wow, I love it. Well, thank you so much once again for this time. We really, really appreciate it. And we're going to make sure that we support this movie, Belle, and continue to spread the word so that we can just make it as big as it can possibly be.
Oh, thank you so much for your support. I hope you enjoy the film.
Absolutely. I'm going to get a chance to see it this weekend. My wife's birthday is actually Monday, Memorial Day, so we're going to go see it this weekend as we're hanging out and doing, spending time with her.
Oh, great. Well, I hope she'll love it.
Yes, I'm sure she will.